Can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Come on, don't be shy. Just one in the chat if you can hear me. One in the chat. Just a one. I need a one if you can hear me, if my sound is okay. Let me know if my sound is okay. Yes, no, maybe so. Well, if it's not, y'all can always go back and do the replay game. Shout out to my replay game. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Lana. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. So I am back in Barnes and Noble. So because y'all know I'm away, I'm not home. So and while I'm out here still doing my thing, this is my spot to go and relax and do things that's outside of what is done for my job and stuff like that. So I want to say shout out to Sharon Gracie. Y'all know what time it is. He definitely actually inspired me. Brownsville, salute to you, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, he actually inspired me to actually come to Barnes and Noble and do a lot of research. So today we was talking about a lot of religious-based things, and honestly, it was fun. It was a good conversation. I love the different type of perceptions and interpretation of things, even people's opinions about it, whether it's biased or not. I thought it was really a good conversation because we can start to see where we can have a conversation that starts off on neutral grounds, and then once it's perceived. That somebody else's opinion or something matters more than actual the discussion, it's really good to see that in real time, right? So I wanted to let y'all know one of the biggest things that we was talking about today was Timothy, right? So today they was discussing a lot about Timothy chapter 2 verses 10 to 13, right? And with Timothy, if no one knows, I'm going to read it to you, right? So from Timothy chapter 2, verses, I'll start from 10 to 30. No, matter of fact, I'll start from 11, right? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jalen. So from 11, it says, a woman must receive instruction silently and under complete control, right? 12 says, I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She must be quiet, for Adam was formed first, then Eve. Further, Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and transgressed. So, in reasoning, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in that verse, right, a lot of people have different views about it. Now, I did some real serious studying today, okay? I have studied the Jewish Bible, the Catholic Bible, and I also have the study Bible for King James Version, right? And the reason why I wanted to study it because if you really want to have the true understanding of what they were talking about within those particular scriptures, you need not only to just stick with one that agrees with what you believe. You need to understand further. Now, I'll be trying to figure out in the Quran what would be similar to Timothy. I'm going to figure that out. And then I'm going to also read the Aramaic one too, as well. But even if you look down in the bottom, right? In the bottom, under this one, under the Catholic, this is the Catholic one I'm going over right now. Yes, I did read the whole chapter to understand it, right? So, pretty much, number one, Timothy is a letter, okay? This is a letter that Paul wrote to Timothy. So, this is not God speaking, this is not instructions by God. Timothy 1 and Timothy 2 are literally letters of Paul who anointed Timothy to become his disciple. So this is a letter that he wrote to his pupil. This is not by God. This is not ordained or anything by God. This is literally a man writing to his student that is in here. Okay? So that, and it says here in the Catholic Bible, it says it, right? So let's just go over what they said about chapter 8 to chapter 2 verse 8 to 15. In the Catholic Bible, under there on the bottom, it says the prayer of the community should be unmarred by internal dissonation, meaning that the prayer that needs to be to bring and gap grow people to God should not be disrupted, right? It should not be no internal, conflict, okay? And then it says, at the liturgical assembly, the dress of women should be appropriate to the occasion, meaning that when you address women, there should be a specific occasion for women to be addressed, right? Then it says their chief adornment is to be reputation for good works, meaning this means that the good women folks, the ones who, let's say, whether they're the wives of the deacons or they're the wives of the seekers, or if they're a deaconess themselves, right? They are to show the good work or the good status, reputation of women. And the reason why they're saying women are not supposed to, when it's an assembly of men, women are not supposed to be present, right? Not necessarily be present is like you could be there, but you're not supposed to take over the conversation, right? Because men in assembly should be speaking to men. However, this never said that women did not have their thought, women did not give their counsel, or women did not counsel other women. So all of these things was happening while he was writing this letter. Was an instruction that he gave to his disciple Timothy, right? So then it also says, like I said, it says women are not to partake in the charismatic activity of the assembly, right? Or exercise authority. Their conduct there should be reflect of the man's helpmate. And it says, and not the latter relationship of Eve and Adam. So pretty much. So let's see what Lana says. So, okay, let me read what y'all said first before I can continue to go on. All right, so Brownsville said, Paul's target audience matters when we interpret his writings. Paul is giving his opinion to Timothy on how the Gentiles should be. Yes, exactly, Brownsville. Correct. And then it says, I'm a Bible believer, but I wasn't taught the Bible in a misogynistic way. My dad didn't play that. He still teaches me how to pray over my home and handle. Yes, because the thing about it is, truly, anything that was written by God and certain other apostles in the Bible were not misogynists. However, that doesn't mean that there weren't men who was in partake of the Bible who were misogynists, right? And clearly you could see when Paul wrote this to Timothy, he believed that women should not have been involved due to the simple fact is that women or Eve per se was fooled and deceived, and hence made Adam also be deceived, and we got thrown into the mess that we're in today. That was his belief behind it. He just didn't want women involved off of that. Okay. Hey, we unlock. How you doing? So, and then also, well, you have to see. So now it says, uh, verse 15, but she will be saved through motherhood, provided women preserve in faith and love and holiness with self control. So, literally, if women have children, they're already saving their souls. This is the Catholic book. If women have children, they're already saving themselves because the pain that women have to endure was the curse that Eve gave us. So, once we endure it and bring fruit to the life, we are now saved. So, this, like I said, this is the Catholic Bible. This is what they said. Mind you, they also said that when it comes down to chapter 2, verse 12, a man, right? This could be also mean her husband, right? But we all know that this was Paul instructing his disciple, Timothy. Now let's go on. Let's look at the study Bible, okay? So the study Bible, oh, I hope I didn't lose my page. Hope I didn't. I've been doing a lot of studying, guys. I've been here for a while. I'm about to leave too. But anyway, all right. So, all right. So again, it's telling us the prayer in the divine order of the sexes. This is of the King James Version Bible, right? So from the King James Version Bible, it says, in the matter also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broaded hair, which means braided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. So that means fancy clothing. Hey Hassan, how you doing? How you doing? Right? And then it says, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Again, that is the deaconess or the wives of the deacons, right? They're supposed to be the reputation of godly women, and they're not supposed to be loud and show boasting jewels and stuff like that and their riches and stuff. That's what they're saying. And then here it says, let the women learn in silence with all subjection. So let the women learn in silence with all subjection, right? That's exactly what it says. So if we go here down to the bottom where it gives you the learn where you learn at, it says the instruction regarding women being silent in church is likely a specific remedy to the situation Timothy was facing in Ephesus. So if you go and you find out the story about what Timothy was going with Ephesus, he was having trouble with women. He was having trouble with the older women and their what they would call like their stipulations and women talk like all wives tales and stuff like that. So that's why he instructed him in regards of that, right? Then it also says, while it was customary for only men to lead prayer in Jewish worship, it is somewhat unusual that Paul specifies only the men to pray. Why? Because elsewhere in 1 Corinthians 11:5, Paul gives guidelines for women both praying and prophesying. So the directive across the board is not for women to always keep quiet. So, like I said, this is the King James Version study Bible. It's not for women to always keep quiet. This was instructions to Timothy because he was having problem in Ephesus. So again, they have seen Paul give instructions to women who were preaching, prophesying, and praying. He was giving guidelines to women doing it. So again, this is the same man saying that I don't prefer women to teach. You also gave women guidelines on how to teach. So again, this is why reading is fundamental, and you have to read outside of what only you agree with. Women have always taught, and women have always praised, and women has always preached, right? And women wasn't always silent. That was what he preferred. He preferred women to remain silent, but that was not the case. So let's look at the other one. This is the new international version of the Bible. Okay. So this is to help everyone, right? This is like the newest one. Okay. So if you even look here, go back to the same verse. Here we go. All right. So it says 2010 good deeds, right? A Christian woman's beauty should be found in her godly character and her love for the Lord, as demonstrated in all types of good works. Meaning, if she is charitable to the church, she puts her life to the church and also follow her husband and his guidelines in his household, she is shown of being a godly woman, right? But again, when it comes down to the quietness and full submission, right? It says these verses are not easy to understand, and there are many differences of opinion as to their meaning. The scripture here does actually say just what it looks like, that women must be silent and submissive. It is universally accepted that this is referring to times of public worship. Although the Bible makes it clear that women must submit to her husband, but the concept of submission also applies to all believers. So that's Philippians chapter 4 5 says, "Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." Being submissive means not being unruly or argumentative. There are times when it is proper for a woman to teach, pray, or prophecy. That is Corinthians 11, 1 Corinthians 11. But in this instance, it was not supposed to happen in public worship. So at that particular time, when he wrote that letter to Timothy, at that time, women was not supposed to be propheters. But 1 Corinthians 11, Paul gave instructions to women who were profiting and praying in public. Okay? So it was always happening. Women wasn't just quiet. Women wasn't just quiet. Women was never just quiet. So this is the problem. We take things and we want to throw history without really reading what happened at that time and why things were done and why things were said. And we want to take it as the honest to God truth. We want to take it as something that we all supposed to be doing now. There was a reason behind it. Timothy was having problems following what Paul was telling him in a particular space, because the women, especially the elder women, were outshining him when it came down to worship and prophecy. So this is why he's telling him, hey, listen, I prefer that you not even send women out there to do the prophecy, whatever not, because I think that they need to be remain silent because they can misconstrue things of what I really want to be said out there or what I'm getting instructed from God to be said. That was his reason behind it. So you have to ask yourself why. Now as women, now as men, right? Why would a man or why would men take something that specifically was a letter to a actual individual and try to force that down a whole generation of women, children, whatever? Why would you do that? Why leave out the fact that this was a letter specifically written to a subordinate? And this is why you put the fear in women. This is why you help remove people from God and people reading about God and people reading the Bible and wanting to get to know it, because you leave out important details. None of this, none that I was reading has anything to do with God or what he said. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But you will literally have people paint it as if God said these things. And it's so funny because there was one part that I wanted to show when it comes down to the because did y'all read chapter 3 of Timothy? That is the qualifications of overseers and deacons, right? So it says, here is the trustworthy saying: whoever aspires to be a overseer desires a noble task. Now the overseer is to be above approach, meaning as soon as you start following the good book and you deem yourself authority of an overseer or a deacon of the good word, you have to be above reproach. Okay? That means you have to be faithful to his wife, temperament, self controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not given to drunkenness, not violent, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. He must manage his own family well and see that his children obey him, and he must do so in a manner worthy of full respect. So now, when I read down in the bottom, when it comes down to chapter 3, it says, "The faithful to his wife." This phrase is also subject to much disagreement. Many feel that it means a one woman kind of man, indicating a lifestyle of fidelity. Others feel that this is more specific and prohibits a divorced or remarried man from the elder position. Certainly, it is an exclusion of anyone who is sexually immoral or a polygamist. So, like I said, you cannot even be a overseer or a deacon of the good book or speak the word of God if you believe in polygamy, if you are a infidel, if you participate in infidelity. You can't do it. This is not meant for you. This is not meant for you at all. You don't qualify. These are the qualifications. Chapter 3 shows you the qualifications of being an overseer or a deacon. And then also expressed too that women were deacons too. Women were deaconess, or they were the wives of deacons. So again, unless y'all are really going to come out here and do hours of studying like I did about script chapters and scriptures that you're preaching about, we should be safe to say that a lot of the things that we're saying is just opinionated, and we are entitled to our opinions, but this is not odd to God. This is not God to honest truth. God didn't say any of this. God used people. Paul also instructed women to preach and to prophesy. So it was a good read. It was definitely a good read, and I'm glad that I actually came out here and I did the research myself, because I'm like, this didn't sound too cool, and y'all leave a lot of things out. Y'all leave a lot of things out on purpose. But also, what you have to remember that you're not supposed to be violent as an overseer, right? You're supposed to be calm. You're supposed to be able to lead your family. You're supposed to be able to watch their well-being. There's a lot of things you have to do. You're supposed to have the revere of respect, right? And it does not mean revere of respect from force or from fear. You have to have revere of respect from sincerity, okay? Sincerity, violent but not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. Like, these are the qualifications to be able to teach. So if you're not filling these qualifications and you're literally acting on your behalf about what you want and how you want to see fit, then please, again, let the followers be the followers. Let the ones who really follow the religion to the T, let them lead the way in that. You just need to say, hey, listen, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want from my family. This is what I want from my wife. But stop, leave the Bible out of it. Leave the Bible out of it. Leave it out. Like, stop, okay? So, I'm not going to stay long because I've been here for a minute doing all this research for y'all people. I got people behind me. So, anyway, again, go get this or go read it yourself, right? International version, the King James version, the Catholic Bible version, and the Jewish version. So I don't want to hear nothing from anyone. These are all the three religions of Abraham outside of the Quran. All right, guys, I'm going to head out of here. I got to use the restroom and I got to get out of here. I'll talk to you later.